What is going on, everybody? How's everybody doing today? So we are going to be reacting to some draft lottery content, some just draft content. We haven't done that in a minute on this channel, and we're going to be reacting to one draft prospect every NBA lottery team must avoid. This was written by Jonathan Wasserman of Bleacher Report. Like always, I will leave a link to the article in the description below, so we can just talk about our opinion on each one, and we'll see what he has to say. So yeah, Minnesota, James Wiseman. I guess this is logical. I think, honestly, they should avoid taking LaMelo over D'Lo, because I just think D'Lo, LaMelo over Wiseman, that's what I meant, not D'Lo, but I just don't think LaMelo and D'Lo personally would work out whatsoever. I think they're very similar players, and they just wouldn't gel together in an offense. Wiseman, I mean, he does have shooting potential, so it makes me think how much fun a Wiseman-Towns frontcourt would be, but it probably just wouldn't work out. So I get the reasoning there. I just think it would be super fun because Towns could shoot, Wiseman could develop a shot. They're both kind of athletic, or Wiseman's probably more athletic, but Towns is obviously a better player at the moment. I don't know. I think it would just be super fun just to see it. Like, it just honestly could be a train wreck. I just want to see it. But he is James Wiseman as a bad pick for Minnesota at number 1. I think this maybe should be more of a LaMelo Ball. But what do I know? What do I know? So we'll move on here. Golden State. Anthony Edwards. Okay, that is the player that I think they would take if LaMelo or Wiseman goes 1. I think if they had number 1 Golden State, they would take Edwards. Obviously the logical pick here would be to Wiseman, because then you could have just a normal starting 5, right? You would have Curry, Clay, Wiggins, Draymond, and Wiseman, and you don't have to get weird with it and put Draymond to the 5, Wiggins to the 4, and then Edwards at the 3. That would get complicated. So I think this would be LaMelo as well. I think LaMelo would be kind of a dumb pick for Golden State just because he's basically just going to be your 6th man. And when you have the 2nd overall pick, you don't want to draft the 6th man. So I think this should be LaMelo, not Edwards. So who is he going to have for Charlotte? Because I feel like they can go with anyone. Denny Avdija. Okay, yeah. I guess with either LaMelo, Wiseman, or Edwards going to be on the board there at 3, you should go one of those 3 players. And if you take Denny Avdija, oh boy, this would give me Kristaps Porzingis vibes. But this would be worse than Kristaps Porzingis because there's a guaranteed top 3 in this draft. And there kind of was in 2015 with Cat, Okafor, and D'Lo, and when the Knicks are at 4, it was like, oh, could it be Emmanuel Mudiay? Could it be Justice Winslow? Could it be this Porzingis guy? So it wasn't that shocking, but this would be pretty shocking if they took Denny Avdija over Anthony Edwards, LaMelo Ball, or James Wiseman. I think it would be quite insane for Charlotte to do that when they have such a marketed player on the board, probably in LaMelo Ball, if it does go Edwards, Wiseman. And Charlotte needs that star power. They haven't really had a star in forever. Like, Kemba Walker was a great player, but was he ever like a top 10 player? No, and he wasn't somebody that was like, oh, we got to see Charlotte because of Kemba Walker. Like, I don't know. Like, Glenn Rice, Larry Johnson, have they ever even had that player in history? I don't know. Like, LaMelo could just be a bigger name than anybody. Maybe he won't be the better player, but they need kind of just more traction on Charlotte. And if LaMelo can bring them to the playoffs, man, they'll be the hottest team just to talk about. So I think they got to go LaMelo Ball or Anthony Edwards or Wiseman. Who's ever here, don't take Denny Avdija. Don't take Isaac Okoro, Cole Anthony, Onyeka Okongwu, I think. So just go, stay the course, take one of those guys. 4, we have Chicago, James Wiseman. Okay, I obviously don't think he's going to fall to 4, but I could also see why he would say this because they do have, not a crowded front court, but they have Wendell Carter Jr. at center. They have Larry Market at a power forward. They have Daniel Gafford off the bench. I think it wouldn't really make, and they also have Thad Young. It just wouldn't make a lot of sense to draft a front court player. I think they would really go for a backcourt or just wing player like Isaac Okoro, Denny Avdija, Killian Hayes. One of those guys I think would make a lot more sense here at 4 than taking a center. I think, yeah, center just really wouldn't make a lot of sense. So they'd be intriguing, honestly, if, like, Charlotte was 2, right, and they took LaMelo, Edwards went 1, and Chicago was 3. They would probably pass on Wiseman, and Wiseman could fall to 4 in that draft, in that alternate universe, because I don't think they would take him at 3, but then they could also trade down, and there could be a lot of stuff in there. So I agree with Wiseman on shouldn't go at 4. So Cleveland, we got Obi Toppin. Man, I feel like they might take Obi Toppin. That's somebody, I guess it's like Toppin, Okoro. I don't think they would take a guard. I don't know if they would take Devin Vassell either. Maybe Denny Avdija if he's there at 5. I'm sure they would want Denny, but I feel like he might go 4 to Chicago. So what does he say? So the NBA's worst defense might want to avoid drafting Toppin. Are they the worst defense? I thought it would be Washington. Like, this past season, who was the... Like, if you look at defensive rating, I'm pretty sure it was Washington, but I could be completely wrong. If you search this by defensive rating, it was Washington. So, I mean, they're basically the same as Washington. So, I get Jonathan's point here. Tobin isn't a great defender. I mean, he could maybe replace Love or Drum. Like, if you're looking at that team, who is their best defender? Dante Exum? I don't know. Like non-center defender, it's probably Exum. Oh, boy. Yeah, they need some defensive help. Maybe Okoro is the solution there. I don't know. But, yeah, I'm thinking, you get Tobin, and then you could somehow move Love. But are they even going to be able to move Kevin Love? I don't think so. So Atlanta, we got Obi Toppin as well. I think, this would just be... They already have their front court in Collins and Capella, at least for next year, unless they think Collins might not come back in 2021 and he's getting extra too much money and they want to go in a different direction, or they would trade John Collins and roll with Obi Toppin and get somebody that's under contract for more years or just plays maybe shooting guard. Yeah, but I think there's so many other players that Atlanta could take here. They could take Isaac Okoro, they could take Devin Vassell, they could take Tyrese Halliburton, at least one of those three players. Actually, there's probably a good chance two of those three players will be there at 6. There's a chance all three of them could be there at 6, and I just wouldn't take Obi Toppin. So I do agree with Mr. Wasserman here. Detroit, Isaac Okoro. I would put this more as like Obi Toppin again for them, just because I could see Isaac Okoro because Detroit's going to be bad, right? They're going to be bad for a couple more years unless whoever they take here is like Ja Morant good and can change the course of that team around. But the odds of that are probably pretty low. So I think they should go for like a Killian Hayes. Nneka Okongwu I would think about as well, or not really a Cole Anthony. I think it would be Hayes or Okongwu here, and you develop your team. You can have an Okongwu Wood front court for the years coming out. You can have Hayes at point guard and succeed Derrick Rose in a year. But I don't think you take Okoro because we know what Okoro is. I don't think he's ever going to be a 20-plus point game scorer in the NBA. He might not even be a 17-plus per game scorer. But he's going to be a good defender. If you want to compare him to maybe Robert Covington, that's a fair comparison, I would say. Somebody that could maybe master the 3-and-D and be that valuable because we know those positions or those type of players are super valuable in the NBA. And I don't know if Detroit takes that. I would see like maybe Atlanta. You already have your pieces and Trae Young, Capella, Collins. He would just make you better. He doesn't need to he could raise your floor, not your ceiling. That's kind of what he is. He seems like he's a floor raiser, not a ceiling raiser. So I think Detroit should try to go for that more of a better chance of being an all-star or great player like a Killian Hayes. Okoro could be the better NBA player. There's probably a better chance of him being a better NBA player than Killian Hayes, but I think Killian Hayes also has a better chance of being like an all-star over Okoro. So it's like you're getting a safe pick in Okoro, but you're getting kind of like that boomer bust guy in Hayes, and I think that's what they should do and take the chance on Killian. But yeah, that's just me. Moving on to 8, Cole Anthony. No, I want the Knicks to draft Cole Anthony. It's really Cole Anthony, Hayes, or Vassell. Those are the 3 players I wouldn't mind the Knicks taking. So the New York Knicks are bound to have conversations about Cole Anthony, given his genes, ties to the city, and high-profile name for fans to recognize. But the Knicks should resist the urge given Anthony's questionable decision-making and the fact that they can't provide him with the supporting cast that would ease his transition and development. Even if the Knicks deemed Anthony the best player available, he'd have a difficult time becoming that player on a roster that severely lacks talent. His college inefficiency, 38 field goal percentage, 4 assists, 3.5 turnovers. Okay, I mean, he shows the bad field goal percentage, but he shot about 35% from 3. You could say about 35% on 6.5 attempts. That's great volume. And he shot 75% from the line. So that is kind of a good sign, I would say. Yeah, the 38 field goal percentage stunk, but if we look Anthony Edwards up, was he any better? Not at all. Hold on, let me just look up Anthony Edwards. Because, okay, so he had 38, 35, 75, 40, 29, 77. They're very similar. I don't think I can look at their true shooting to kind of compare that. Or their effective field goal percentage. I don't think. No, it does offer it. So his effective field goal percentage was 47%. And Cole Anthony's was, 45%. True shooting was 50. I believe Edwards was around 52. So they're very similar in their efficiency. And I'm sure he didn't mention Anthony Edwards' inefficiency, or he didn't even mention him only for this Warriors pick. But yeah, he did kind of date that he wasn't the greatest, I guess, shooter in the world. So I don't know. I just think he was inefficient this year, yes, but he wasn't like the worst player in college basketball. And I think he was just in a terrible position there. And I don't know. You surround him with Mitch. You surround him with RJ. I mean, hopefully you get somebody in free agency that can at least create their own shot. I don't know, but yeah, it's not the greatest fit in the world, or you're not going to the greatest destination, but I wouldn't mind that. I'd rather have Anthony over Tyrese Maxey or over an RJ Hampton or a Theo Maledon, 100%. Maybe you could think about Kyra Lewis. But I wouldn't mind Anthony in my opinion. But hey, I could be wrong. I did like Mo Bamba in 2018 a lot. So Washington Wizards, RJ Hampton. Yeah, this just really wouldn't make a lot of sense. With Devin Vassell possibly on the board, you 100% go him. Patrick Williams, Aaron Nesmith, Onyeka Okongwu, Isaac Okoro. One of these 5 players are going to be on the board. So, or 4, whatever I mentioned. One of them should be on the board. So I think you go them. Yeah, you either go Washington. I would be cool with Vassell, Okoro, Okongwu, Nesmith, or Patrick Williams. One of those 5 players I think you take. Because the main kind of thing there is they're defensive players. They're good on the defensive side of the ball, and that's what they need. Phoenix Suns, Aaron Nesmith. Yeah, I don't really think they need to take a wing. I think it's more of a player that could play next to Aiden. I don't think it'll be topping. The only good power forward I'd probably take there at 10 falls to them. But there will be some point guards. There's a chance Tyrese Halliburton could be there. Cole Anthony, Killian Hayes, Kyra Lewis. Yeah, one of those 4 players could be there. RJ Hampton, whoever they like, would be there at 10. So I think that's what they should go. Point guard or somebody that can play next to Aiden, because they're going to have Devin Booker. They're going to have Kelly Oubre. They're going to have Mikal Bridges. They're going to have Cam Johnson. You have wings. You don't need another one. Next up, we have the late lottery. So we have Spurs taking Cole Anthony. Don't take a backcourt member. I mean, maybe a shooting guard / wing hybrid, but don't take a point guard 100% because you have DeJounte Murray, you have Patty Mills, you have Derek White, you have Brent Forbes, you have Lonnie Walker. It's too crowded back there. It's too crowded. Sacramento, Killian Hayes. I wouldn't mind Killian Hayes, especially if he fell to 12, because I think he could definitely be a combo guard next to Fox and play the 2 if you were to trade Buddy Hield in this offseason or down the line. So I wouldn't say Killian Hayes. I could put up Cole Anthony for them, I would say, just because I feel like Cole Anthony is very similar to Fox, and I don't know if they would play well next to each other. Or you could say, I don't know, like a big, like, don't take Precious Achiuwa there. I don't know. Maybe somebody like that. Pelicans, RJ Hampton. New Orleans could use more spacing and defense, and that's not what Hampton's game is right now. He'd sit behind Nickeil Alexander-Walker on the depth chart without possessing any specialty skill for the lineup outside of athleticism. Yeah, I'm not arguing with RJ Hampton there. And finally, Boston taking Nico Mannion. I wouldn't mind them taking a backup point guard, but I don't think it should be Mannion. I mean, in a perfect world, if Cole Anthony's there at 14, I would. If Kyra Lewis is there at 14, hell yeah, because you could use a backup point guard over Kemba Walker and look to upgrade over Brad Wanamaker or Carson Edwards. But yeah, that is it for the article. Let me know if you disagree with anything I said, what Jonathan said, or agreed with either one of us. Drop a like if you guys do enjoy these type of videos. Thank you all for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.